What's up, y'all? It's Jayla Sierra, and I'm back with another video. If you are new here, thank you for coming to watch your girl. Join the family. And we already know we talk about the nitty gritty. We talk about everything, and I probably be giving out too much business, but that's just what we do. And if you're not new here, you already know we about to get into some things. So let's jump into the video. I'm looking for somebody I can call. Looking for the Y'all, today is a quick little story time. If y'all read the title, then y'all already know. This is why I quit my full-time job after 3 years. 3 years of working somewhere, full-time job, benefits and all. Why did I quit? Now, before, if you haven't seen my reintroducing me video, 2025 new mindset, I cut all my hair off video. A lot went on in that video. We talked about a lot. Go watch that one first and then come back to this one. But we're gonna jump right into it. So pretty much I worked at a car dealership. I worked at Toyota, and I started there when I was 18. I was fresh out of high school. I couldn't go to college my first year, and that just had to do with like family stuff and paperwork and a lot of stuff going on, but I couldn't go to college my first year, so I had a year. And that being said, now I'm so happy I had that year, because it's funny how God works, but I'm happy I had that year because it gave me time to think about if I really wanted to go to college or not, and I did it. So it was what it was on that. But fresh out of high school, 2020, yes, I'm that young. Well, I'm not that young because I'm very much legal, but whatever. I was working 3 jobs, okay? I was working 3 part-time jobs. I was working at Planet Fitness, I was working at Staples, and I had my own little like clothing boutique, like as a little side hustle, online clothing boutique or whatever. And I was so burnt out, y'all. Like I was so burnt out. And I decided like I wanted a full-time job. I wanted like one steady job, a good pay. You know, I didn't want to have to be going from job to job to job to job to job. And like I was burnt out. Like I did not have a day off because the schedules didn't work out that way. Like even if I was off from one, I still had to work the other, and I was still trying to make my side hustle money. So like at the end of the day, I always put time into that every day. So like I never had time, and I looked bad. Like I just was so burnt out. So I get a job at Toyota. One of the main reasons my manager at the time said she hired me was like she could see my work ethic. Like she was like, you're working 3 jobs, you got off of one job, came to your interview, you're leaving this interview to go to your second job. Like I want to hire you. Like you work. You feel what I'm saying? Cool, great. I applied for the job. I got a call back the same day, and then I had my interview the next day. I got hired within the week. Okay. Your girl's resume be on point and all of that, and I just like I knew I needed that. Like I knew I needed one full-time job. So I get into Toyota, and I'm gonna be honest, y'all, everything from the beginning was very good. Like at 18 years old, it allowed me to get my first 2 cars, brand new, fresh off the line, 0 miles on the dash. It allowed me to get that. It allowed me to get my first apartment. Like that job at 18 was a great job. You feel what I'm saying? And that was when I first started at 18. That being said, as time went on, things changed. And that's in every company, obviously. Things are gonna change, but it was very evident, like the story that they put on to begin with was like this was a family ran company, like it's all love, like we do everything as a group decision, you know what I'm saying? Like that's how they put it. And for the beginning months of it, it was like that. So I started there, like I said, and I was flourishing. Like I was working, I was taking, and if you've ever worked in a car dealership or you want to get into a car dealership, this is the main keys. Number one, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. schedule at least 2 times a week is a mandatory thing. Very usually mandatory on Mondays, and then they try to get everybody to have at least 2 days scheduled for 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. And a lot of them are commission based somehow, some way. Like you'll get your flat rate pay, whatever that you're hourly, but then you'll get a commission. And also in car dealerships, overtime, at least all the ones that I've ever interviewed at, or even the one I was working at, overtime is not a thing. Most people know anything over 40 to 42 hours is overtime. No, they feel like because they give you bonuses that you shouldn't get overtime. So that just was what it was. So that being said, in the beginning, I worked as many 9 to 8 shifts as I could. Like, if I could pick one up, I would, because I was making my money. Like, I was young. I knew I wasn't going to school. Like, and I just wanted my own. So I was working. Like, if I didn't have nothing to do, I'm working. And it wasn't a sense of that was my schedule. But I would pick it up if I wanted to. So if she was like, yeah, I need somebody to work 9 to 8 on Tuesday, but Tuesday I'm only scheduled till 5, I'll stay till 8. I got it. Don't worry about it. But it was of my discretion, not my schedule. So as time goes on, the first year was great. My manager at the time was named Caitlin. And me and Caitlin, in the beginning, everything was good, but we had our few little spats, and it was more of a gaining a level of respect thing more than it was never a job thing. Like, we never had an issue about the job. It was about the level of respect. And I was also the youngest person in that office. Now, let me say this. When I started, there was 8 of us. I worked in the call center, the BDC, Business Development Center, whatever, in sales. But there was 8 of us, okay? That's very important. It was 8 of us when I started. 8, including me, started at this job, okay? That means 8 of us are taking on all the call loads. 8 of us are taking on the leads that are coming in. 8 of us are making appointments, okay? So there was enough of us that it was not always overwhelming. As time goes on, y'all, people start quitting, okay? I mean, person after person after person, people are quitting, dropping like flies, okay? Like, it ended up by the end of it, it was 3 of us, 4 of us altogether, including me, in the office, okay? So people are quitting, and it just seemed like they weren't really in a rush to hire anybody. Like, that was like a weird thing to me. They weren't really in a rush to hire anybody, and they weren't really looking to like compensate for like anything extra that people had to do. But like I said, at 18, 19, it was a great job. It was providing my lifestyle. It was working for me. It was great. I could afford all my bills, my car, my apartment, and then still do, and all my other bills, and then still do whatever I wanted to do. So I was making good money. And me and my manager, like, over time, I feel like we had good days and we had bad days. Now, I'm going to say this, and I still believe this. That lady did not like me. She did not like me. She did not like the people that liked me there. Like, you ever meet that person that is like weirdly too intertwined? And like, anybody will tell you, car dealerships are messy, okay? It is like high school. Like, they all just gossip and talk, and it was so much. So then what started happening was every little thing she decided to try to pick about. But my issue was, if you're gonna pick with me about something, pick with everybody about it. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it would be like, oh, you can't wear Crocs, you can't wear Uggs. But then she would wear Uggs and it wouldn't be a problem. Baby, I'm wearing my Uggs. What are you talking about? And then not only that, it was like, I'm upstairs in my office not seeing nobody. Like, I'm in my cubicle, whatever. Like, what are you so concerned about my feet for? You feel what I'm saying? But it would only be with me that she would pick with. Like, so it was just, it started to get really, really annoying. But we kind of got over that hump, and I thought we got over that hump. But I also want to say this, the non-melanated people in a workplace, when they feel like they have that upper hand, baby, they be plotting, okay? They plot, and they try to get you fired. They try to do a lot behind the scenes, and you just have to have a keen eye in knowing what the is going on, okay? You gotta keep your ear to the street, okay? You gotta know what's going on. And there was a lot of people that didn't understand, like, or didn't like the attention that I was getting in office. Now, let's be clear. The car industry is a male dominated industry in general. It is. Naturally, I'm a pretty girl. I have a nice body. Like, I'm gonna get attention. Like, and that's not even like cockiness. I'm gonna get attention. And it just seemed like that added fuel to the fire as well. And it like, but my thing was, just because salesman A likes me, what the hell does that have to do with you? Like, you being my manager, what does that have to do with you and my job? Because as long as I'm doing my job, baby, it don't matter what else I'm doing. My job is done. My job is done. That's all you need to work. If y'all hear snoring, that's my baby. He's sleeping. But either way, that was that. So that added, but I felt like we got over the hump. Then it just seemed like they started implementing all these different like programs and ways to do this and ways to do that, and a lot of it didn't make sense. But I just, I'm here to get my check at the end of the day. I don't care. Like, y'all can do however y'all want to do. If y'all lose money, that's on y'all. So they started implementing a lot of stuff, and then it was like they decided to implement what they called a one-on-one, which was meetings to kind of go over people's development, professional development and stuff, and pull your numbers, make sure you're on track, make sure you're getting appointments and sales and this, that, and the third. Now, that being said, baby, one thing I did was keep up with my appointments, baby. I was on it. I was calculating. I knew what my bonus was before, you know what I'm saying, before they even sent the number out. Like, I was on it, okay? So they implemented these one-on-ones, and I can't remember if it was every 1 week, every week, or every 2 weeks. Either way, I think it was every 2 weeks. But they gave you this paper, you had to fill it out, and then you would go into your one-on-one meeting. That being said, something in me told me from the start of that, keep all my paperwork. The paper that they give you that you have to fill out and sign, they sign. The paperwork that they give you with your numbers on it, they always wrote a comment on if you need to work on something, whatever the case may be at the top. Like, keep all your paperwork. And I don't know what in me, I don't know if it was just instilled in me, like it just, the business mindset in me, like, keep your paperwork, because when it come down to it and you need them receipts, baby, you got them, okay? So months and months and months of one-on-ones, y'all, okay? This is really important. Months and months and months of one-on-ones. So months. I lied to you not. To this day, I would have to go find the paperwork somewhere. To this day, I never went in a one-on-one meeting and they had anything bad to say. It wasn't a development. It was literally like, you're doing great. Keep your numbers up. Let's try to get you to this amount this month, this, that. Like, it was always more like, you're on top of your game. Let's keep it going. Okay, cool. Clock T. Like, love that. Like, you feel what I'm saying? So it was cool. Months of that, y'all. And again, y'all gotta be remembering, people be plotting, but that's why it's important for you to stay on your Q's and P's, dot your I's, cross your T's. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be on top of your own stuff, because you never know how bad people envy you or are jealous of you or don't like you. You never really know deep down how people feel in their heart. So it's like, at the end of the day, you gotta make sure that you're ready. You feel what I'm saying? I kept all my paperwork. So October of 22, I had moved out of my apartment, and I had a lot of family stuff going on. I had some health stuff going on. I had a lot going on, and I went through a whole health thing. I blacked out or whatever, and I had to get some surgery, not really surgeries, procedures, that's a better word, procedures done. And one of them was a root canal, because I cracked one of my teeth really bad. I blacked out, passed out, fell, and I cracked one of my teeth really bad, and had to get a whole new tooth or whatever. So, but there was 3 procedures involved in it. And what happened was, after my root canal, and this was in January, and January comes, and I get my root canal done, and they pretty much told me, like, you don't have to stay out of work, but maybe you should take a day or two, just because your mouth is going to hurt. You're not really going to want to talk, all these different things. So I go and I get my root canal done, and the next day, well, the next day I told them I would like come in and just do my call, like my leads and stuff. Like I wouldn't be taking phone calls and stuff. Like I'm just gonna come and do my leads and then I'm gonna leave, so I wasn't backed up. Now that being said, at this point, January of 23, there is only 3 more people in this office besides me. Okay, we started at 8. That's when I say people were leaving, quitting, dropping like flies. Baby, they was dropping like flies. Okay. There's only 3 other people besides me at this point. So now everybody has a way bigger load than when we had 8 people. So naturally, that's why I even wanted to go in, because I'm like, I don't want to get too caught up for a day or two and then have to do that plus all my new leads that I'm going to get. You feel what I'm saying? And I was big with my customers. My customers would come in asking for me. Like, I kept up with my people. So at the end of the day, like, I made sure that I was doing, if I said I was going to send an email on this date, the email was sent. So I kept up with my customers. But like I said, only 3 of us. One of the ladies, she worked there like part-time. She wasn't even there full-time. She came in whenever she wanted. The other girl ended up getting a concussion, so she was in and out of work a lot. And the other one girl, she didn't know if she really wanted to be a salesperson or in the BDC, so she was back and forth, so her schedule wasn't clear neither. So reality of it was, I was taking on a lot of all those 9 to 8 days by myself just because there was nobody else there. And my issue was, I don't have a problem doing that if you have urgency in hiring other people. I'm one person. I can't do everything. But just as much as they're going to, like, I don't care. That they're going to, if they're not, they're going to work you, and they're going to work you to see how far they can work you until they kind of want to dispose of you. And that was kind of my issue. Like, I'm not about to be the only one working this much. Like, and then when people was coming in, they get all these good schedules. They get to leave at 3 o'clock on this day and don't only work this amount of hours and this, that, and the third. But when I'm like, oh, well, I can't come in this day, or I need this day, it's an issue. So I'm really starting to get an attitude, because it's like, I'm not the only one that's going to work. Like, that's just not it. So anyway, back to my root canal. I get my root canal. They say, okay, you can go to work, but you shouldn't, but whatever. So I go the next day and I say, listen, I even texted her prior to me coming to work. I texted her, but I also, when I got in, I reiterated the same exact thing. I'm just here to do my leads, because technically I wasn't even on schedule to come in that day. Well, it was my scheduled day, but originally I had took it off because I didn't know how I was going to feel. But it was like, that job was kind of easy to the point where, like, even if you were scheduled off, you could still come in if you wanted to, whatever the case may be. But either way, I'm like, well, I'm gonna come in, I'm here, I'm not taking no calls. I said the only calls I'm making is to people that I have to call from my lead group. I'm going to do my leads and stuff, and then I'm leaving. I'm not even staying here all day. Like, I'm out. So, okay, cool. On top of that, I wasn't feeling good. My cycle was coming on, and I let her know that too. I said, listen, I don't feel good. My mouth already hurts. My cycle was coming on. Like, I don't feel good. And we was pretty much all females in this office, so that kind of conversation was normal. But I walked in letting you know all these issues that I have today, so I'm really not in the mood today. Like, I'm doing what I gotta do and I'm out of here. Okay? A and B. That's it. That's all you get out of me. So I am doing my leads and everything, and and I also had said to her that I was going to probably work at a slower pace. One, because my mouth was killing me. Like, my mouth was still swollen. Like, I did not feel good. So, like, naturally, I was not, like, on the computer like I normally would, like, going. Like, I was not trying to make that many calls, whatever the case may be. So, but you knew all of this. She like, yeah, that's perfectly fine. Like, I'm mad that you even came in. Like, you should have took your day. Like, I know you don't feel good, but thank you for coming in, because I know you didn't want to get backed up, whatever. So on one hand, you saying you're thanking me because that would have backed that up. But on the other hand, you really was plotting. Okay. So, like I said, keep your ear to the streets, pay attention. So I get there and I'm doing my lead stuff. So then it gets really cold in the office, y'all. And I remember this to this day, how all this started. It gets really cold in the office, and I'm like, okay, I gotta walk out of here for a minute. I gotta walk around, because when my cycle's coming on, air conditioner air makes me cramp so bad. Okay. So in the midst of all of that, I'm criminal. I'm like, okay, I need to go walk around, get a little heat in me for a second, because it was like they kept the air on in that office. Like, it wasn't like the whole dealership was like that. So I walk around for a little bit. I told her, like, I was like, I gotta go walk around. I'm cramping. Like, it's cold in here. Y'all not gonna turn the air off. Like, I need a minute. Mind you, hadn't took a lunch yet, hadn't done nothing. So it's like, I was okay to walk around. Like, it wasn't nothing. I get a text from her, my personal phone at that. Hey, you've only made 3 calls today. So you kind of need to get on your work. Baby, excuse me? So I sent her 3 laughing emojis back, because you're playing with me. You have to be playing with me. Because not only did I tell you I was definitely going to be working at a slower rate today, not only did I tell you that I wasn't really going to be making calls. So look at how many emails I sent. Look at how many texts I sent. You talking about some, oh, you only made 3 calls. Yeah, I told you that. I wasn't making a lot of calls. I wasn't. I didn't feel good. I barely could fucking talk. Okay? I wasn't making all them calls. Like, I said that to you. So, okay, cool. So then I go back in the office and I'm doing work, whatever, and she comes to my cubicle and was like, oh, meet me in the conference room. But she tried to say it like loud in front of everybody, as if like you was like checking me, and we was never doing that. And then not only that, my thing is this: if you want to address me, you address me privately. You could have sent me a message. You could have emailed me. You could have did anything. That's the first thing. And I was in the midst of communicating with one of my customers. So I was like, okay, you have to give me a minute. I'm finishing up something. She was like, no, now. So I said, no, you gonna wait a minute. Like, don't talk to me crazy. Like, I'm all for work etiquette, but I'm still a human being, and you're gonna talk to me with respect. I don't care how anybody else let you talk to them, but you're gonna talk to me with respect, period. I don't care who you are. Because at the end of the day, you don't sign my check neither. So, like, you might be the manager of this office, but you don't sign no checks, okay? Be clear. So, and even the person that do sign the check, baby, you still ain't gonna talk to me crazy. I don't care who you are. It is what it is. That's just me and how I stand about me. You gonna respect me, because I respect you. I've given you that respect. So you're gonna talk to me accordingly. What are we talking about? So, that all being said, I do that. And I finished communicating with my customer. I sent that email out. And then I go into the conference room. What you think she did? She went right in that conference room and waited. Yeah, as you're going to. Because who are you talking to? Boom. So I go into the conference room. She like, oh, well, do you have anything to say? Baby, you called me in here. What are you talking about? I said, no, I don't. She was like, well, I just want to understand what the problem is. I said, you called me in here. How would I have the problem? She was like, oh, well, I'm just trying to figure out what was funny. I said, your message was funny. And I think sometimes when people ask you questions, they assume that you're not going to stand on what you said. Baby, I'm going to stand behind what I said every time. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to say it again. Just so that way you need clarification? No problem. Okay. So she was like, oh, well, what was funny? Your message. So she was like, oh, well, I just didn't find it funny. And I said, yeah, I didn't either. But hey, I guess we here. So she was like, well, I just don't understand your attitude. I said, girl, I don't got no attitude. I said, you called me in here. I don't have no attitude. I'm doing what I need to do, my job. Period, point blank. So right then and there, after that concludes, I go back to do my job for the rest of the day. I finished my stuff and I left. Like the plan was. I left. Next day comes. I had got a new schedule. So I was supposed to be leaving, and that was on a Tuesday. So this was a Wednesday. My first day Wednesday, I was supposed to be leaving at 3 o'clock. Literally, as I'm packing up to leave, I get bombarded by the HR lady. Her name was Donna. So Caitlin and Donna. Donna's like, oh, hey, Jayla, can you come into my office for a minute? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool, no problem. I walk in there. Who's in there? Caitlin. It's my time to leave. What do y'all want? And what I already knew was you tried to bombard me at the end because you knew it was my time to leave. So you really was plotting. Like, you really was playing this whole time. So she tried to tell Donna, like, oh, like, I'm not doing my job. This, that, and the third. And only picks this one day that my call rate was low because I told you it was going to be low. I told you it was going to, you already knew this. And tried to make it seem like I wasn't doing my job. I don't care what nobody say. When you put that any type of negative stigma on a black woman in a workplace, you're looking to get them fired. There is no real way that, what are you doing that for if you know it's not true? And that's what pissed me off the most. If you going to say something about me, make it true. Baby, don't lie. Don't lie, because I'm coming with receipts every time. So Donna, she was like, you know, Caitlin's just saying like she doesn't feel like you're doing your job, and we're trying to figure out next steps. I said, next steps about what? Baby, because what job am I not doing? What job am I not doing? Let me know. Tell her to pull my numbers. Tell her to pull every one-on-one slip. Like, what are we talking about? And I said, at the end of the day, I'm not really having this conversation right now because it's my scheduled time to leave. If y'all want to talk to me, y'all can talk to me on work hours. My scheduled work hours. Not when I'm not supposed to be here. So y'all can have a nice day. Maybe we'll schedule this for another time. So in the midst of that, I go home, I log into all my stuff, baby. I get all my information together. I had everything. But when I left, I had took my one-on-one papers and everything. I ain't want nobody playing with me, go through my desk, try to take my papers, nothing. Like, I was thinking so far ahead. Like, I'm like, no, because y'all plotting and I'm not with it. So end of the day, I go and I'm like, the next day come, Donna's like, oh, well, we're going to have a meeting. We're going to schedule a meeting, blah, blah, blah. Like, whatever. Okay, cool. Days go by, like a week goes by. Now she wants to finally have this meeting. Baby, I'm still ready. Papers ready. Let's do it. Let's do it. At this point, it was becoming racial too. Like, it was just like, she just did not like me. And I was the only black girl in this office. When I first started, there was one other black girl. She got fired. But she, after that, I was the only black girl in this office, okay? So it was already little stuff that was already proven to be true. And we're going into the meeting, and Donna was just pretty much like, you could tell though, like with them, when they're already cool with somebody, they already kind of have their mind set on what's really supposed to be done, and or what they really want to do, not what's really right based on the situation, but if they, because they like her, they're gonna want to do what she want to do. So, but the issue was that Caitlin was just trying to get me fired. Like, she was just trying to get me fired off rip. And the one thing that Donna didn't want to do, because she knew it would have came with a lawsuit, she was like, well, we can't fire her. And she didn't know. See, the problem is they messy and they gossip too much. So Donna, the HR person, was telling other people what was going on. But then people cool with me, so they locking me in. They like, yeah, she trying to do this, she trying to do that. But Donna saying she can't because it would come with a lawsuit. Like, they can't fire you with no cause. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, cool, this what they on. No problem, got my paperwork. I'm ready in this meeting, y'all. I can't wait. I have an answer for everything, because tell me when I don't do my job. I'm pulling up the text. Didn't I text you and tell you I was only coming in to do my leads because I wasn't feeling good? I wasn't even supposed to be here. Oh, okay, check. Then this the one day that you ever see my call rate was low. How I'm not doing my job? Explain that to me. These are the one-on-one paper meetings. How I'm not doing my job, but every one-on-one paper we got, it's always, you're doing great. Oh my God, your numbers are great. Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? So Donna was just like, no, I get what you're saying. But I say this to this day, I think that lady still worked there. She needs to be fired. She needs to be fired. She's the worst HR person that you could ever have in your life. And when I say that, I mean it. That lady needs to be fired. Okay? Job dismissed. Like, I honestly, and I don't wish bad stuff on nobody, but she needs to find a new profession. That profession's not for her. Because you're not really looking to help. Like, you're human resources. Like, you're literally supposed to help the employees and stuff and get through what the problems are. You're not doing that. You want to ha-ha kiki with Caitlin because you're friends with her. Baby, that ain't got nothing to do with this check. Y'all can be friends outside of here. Not only that, in the midst of all of that, Caitlin kept trying to talk to me crazy. And one thing I stand by is this. Don't let your mouth in office get your ass whooped outside of office, okay? But we still got to walk out these doors. Real right. Don't let your mouth write a check that your ass cannot cash, because you got all this rah, 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 and it's like, you know me. Baby, I'm going to give it back. I'm going to give it back to you every time. Every time I'm lining you up and knocking you down, okay? Do not play with me. So, in the midst of all that, Donna cannot find actual viable reason that I'm the issue. Like, she's trying, but she can't because there's really no evidence to it. And then I said to her, correct me if I'm wrong, but the one day somebody may not be feeling good, as a manager, isn't it your job to just check in on them? Are you good? What's going on? Do you need to leave? No, your first thing is you want to get me fired for something that I already told you coming in the door? Something I text you previous to coming into the door. You're playing. So then from that day forward, y'all, I'm petty, okay? And when you go to hell, when you go low, I'm going to hell and gasoline draws, and I mean that. Because don't play with me and don't play with my check. You feel what I'm saying? So I go every task, every lead, every task I did, I sent her a notification, email sent, text sent, call sent, call taken. I sent a notification for everything, baby. I annoyed her so bad, baby. You want to play with me? Let's play. Let's play. You want to say I don't do my job? I'm going to send you a notification for every little thing I do. That's my job. Don't play with me. Baby, if I took a call and set an appointment, I'm sending her an email. Hey, Caitlin, just got off the phone from this time to this time with this customer. Set an appointment. You'll see it in this. Baby, I was blowing her computer up. You could not. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. Because you was trying to play a game that you really couldn't even play because you didn't know who you was playing with. And that's the problem. I don't play games, but if you put me in a game, I'm playing to win. I'm playing to win every time. I'm playing to win every time. Now, this also being said, like I said, it was only 4 of us in there. I'm the only worker you really got, babe. I'm the only worker you got. So you might not really want to burn that bridge with me. But hey, if you consume me, you want to burn that bridge, do your thing, baby. Do your thing. I'm not mad at you. I'm only going to end up on a better side. It is what it is. Everybody got to go through these lessons. So when I tell you this HR stuff goes on for about a month, y'all, they're always trying to call me into a meeting. Then she tries to call me into another meeting and says, oh, you're being insubordinate. She's asking you to stop sending her the notifications. And I said, absolutely not. Y'all told me to my face that I wasn't doing my job. I'm covering my ass and making sure that y'all know that I'm doing my job. You can't fire me for that. You can't. You actually, you really can't. But if y'all want to try, no problem. Let's do it. So in the midst of all of that, it just got to the point where my mental health was getting so bad with this job because it's like, not only am I coming in working, doing my job, not only am I staying the extra hours, not only am I damn near the only person working. When I say there was days where I would walk in and nobody else was there, and she wouldn't even give me a heads up of saying, you're going to be the only one in office today, this, that, and the third. I never got the heads up. Y'all, I just had to deal with it. And it's like, then not only that, my other issue was, if I'm going to be the only one working, baby, I need to be compensated. Very much so. I'm doing the job of 8 people. I'm doing the job of 4 people. I'm doing the job of 6 people. I'm doing the job for a bunch of people as one person, baby. I need to be compensated. Point blank period, I need to be compensated. So then, and that was another thing, they was not in no way, shape, or form trying to actually compensate me for that. And that's not my job. My job was not to do the leads of 8 people. My job was to do the leads of 1. You feel what I'm saying? So my mental health deteriorated so bad after that month of stuff. Like, and it was already dwindling because of how much I was working by myself. But it was like, it was just got to the point where, like, I would be like, I don't, like, care to go there. Like, I don't care. Like, even if I took a day off and I was like, oh, it's going to, like, you know, make my check smaller, I didn't care. And that's how I knew I was getting to that point. But it was also just like, even after she couldn't fire me through HR, she still was trying to pick and pick and pick and pick and pick. And I was just like, either I'm going to quit or I'm going to get fired, because I'm really going to go at this lady. Like, and there is going to be nothing that can stop me from going at her, because at the end of the day, I'm still a human. You still need to treat me with respect. You still need, like, if I'm doing my job, let me do my job and leave me alone. Like, you want to pick and pick and pick and pick for what? What is your problem? What's your issue? Tell me what the issue is. So at the end of all of that, I sit there and I decided I was gonna quit. I was like, I'm done. Like, it's just mentally, I cannot do this place no more. There's no professional development. I'm not making no more money. At this point, the world has went up, baby. If the world went up, the check should be going up, okay? What are we talking about? The $15 an hour wasn't working no more, baby. It wasn't. It wasn't. We got real bills to pay, okay? Then you was trying to get me fired, and that wasn't the only occasion that she tried to get me fired, y'all. Like, she had tried once or twice prior to that to really try to get me fired and couldn't, because she really had no cause. So I decided February 21st of 2023 that I was gonna quit. I came into work that day. I worked like half a day, and it was just in my mind that whole day. And I finally went into HR and was like, I'm resigning. I'm done. I don't care. Screw y'all, F y'all. I don't care. Figure it out. Y'all ain't got no workers. Y'all ain't got nobody to do it. Figure it out. I don't know what y'all gonna do. That's on y'all. And I don't wish y'all would figure it out, actually. I don't wish y'all the best. I don't. I don't. So I quit. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. And I was okay with that. Like, to this day, I'm still okay with that decision. Funniest thing was, March 15th, now it was like 2-3 weeks or whatever went by. No, February is a early month, so it like 2 weeks went by, 2.5 weeks, and March 15th, 2023, I found out I'm pregnant. And that was like the craziest time, because it was like, dang, like, I just quit my job. Now, I still had some money saved up, but like not enough that's going to get me through my whole pregnancy and then having a baby. You know what I'm saying? So it was a lot that came after that. I had to work a few odd jobs, whatever the case may be. But either way, I came out on the better side of it. But yes, that is why I quit my job. After 3 whole years, whatever the case may be, the lady was trying to get me fired, and it just got bad and bad and bad. And it was like, it really got to the point that I just was like, yo, like, if I don't quit, I'm going to do something that gets me fired, because I cannot take it. Like, just imagine going into a job every day with somebody who just picking. Like, it was complete nonsense. It was. But either way, I hope y'all enjoyed the story time. Like I said, I'll be putting y'all in my business. And let me know if y'all ever quit a job, why y'all quit the job, what's going on. But I will see y'all next video. And like, comment, subscribe. Like I said, do all those things. Love you. Bye.